we starting?
Just testing for now.
Testing.
Testing. It's a conversation. Testing.
I'm good.
Okay, I just want to test the sound.
Okay.
If it's audible and just... Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back and thank you for, clicking on this link and actually choosing to watch this video. I am so honored that you just taking your time to indulge me, in these conversations that I feel are very important. Today we're going to have one of those conversations, a very important conversation around reproductive health. It's a very important theme in my life, but I don't want to do this alone. Okay, there's a very special lady that's sitting next to me right here. Very beautiful lady that's, willing to talk to the internet about her personal things. I don't know, so let me just first introduce my lovely friend Nero. Welcome to my channel.
Thanks for having me. I was always looking forward to come, so finally I'm here.
Okay, we've been planning to have this conversation I think since last year. We are always talking on WhatsApp about life, and somehow we got to understand that we share a lot of things in common. One of the big things that I know we're gonna get into reproductive health, but we are Aquarians.
Yes, babe.
That's a very big deal.
It is.
That's a very big deal to me. Guys, you must understand that I'm the chief ambassador of all Aquarians.
Okay, man.
Right?
Okay.
So when I find Aquarians, I am like pom-poms, yay! Another good human being on this planet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did find out that Nell is an Aquarian, and I think that we clicked from that point.
Yes.
Anyway, just maybe introduce yourself, who you are, what you want people to know about you, and maybe your version of how you got to meet this person over here, and you are here now on a YouTube channel. Yes. How did you get yourself into this?
So we'll start with who I am. I am Neo Madela, mother of 3.5.
Whoa.
And yeah, an accountant currently by profession. Started as a microbiologist, but I diverted. I'm versatile like that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then I enjoy being with people. I'm a very social person, yet an introvert at the same time. I love my space.
I relate.
But I love people, But yeah, I'm that kind of person. I just love good energy. I love fun. I love laughter, And how we met with Karabo, we met at an event. I think we had a mutual friend, Elisa. She had an event, and then I won the makeup. I think there was a competition, so I got free makeup, and she had to do my face because she was the makeup artist. So that's how I got to know her, and then I took her numbers from there for the makeup. And I haven't used it for the makeup. You became more than having my makeup artist or providing her services for being a makeup artist.
Yeah.
But it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm glad that I met you.
Okay. Microbiologist. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I did. I studied microbiology, and I worked for 2 weeks max. That's how I was like, that ain't me.
That's the story.
And then I fell to insurance company. I worked for an insurance company, and that's why I fell in love with actuarial science. And then I went to Wits to go study actuarial science, but the timing wasn't perfect. So that's where I met accounting on the way. And I studied accounting. I was like, okay, let me just do this one, because me and actuarial science, maybe back then, because now I wanted him, but he didn't want me.
Okay.
So,
he does that. He does that a lot, actuarial science, with a lot of people.
But I tried.
That is interesting. That is interesting. Well, thank you. Welcome. My version, I think we are on the same page with how we met. I was invited to a ladies' meeting, like ladies, I don't know. Meet and greet. Yeah, and I was booked to provide, makeup lessons as a makeup artist, and there was a prize for one of the ladies that that got the ticket to come to this ladies event, and they won that. And during the event, we were doing a live makeup tutorial, and she was the model. And what I remember her saying, "Do not post my pictures." That's what I remember with this lady.
Anybody who knows me, they know I'm so particular with posting my pictures online.
And it's such beautiful pictures. And just like, I don't want this before and after and being judged on social media. I don't want to get into that. And I never did. So I never did. So we're going to get into the conversation. The conversation that I want to have with you, I wanted to start around reproductive health. Okay. I think when we talked about it on WhatsApp, I think there was for me, a feeling of I want to share information with people. I want us to share. It was quite comforting to share my experience with you, and it sounded like you also knew certain things that I didn't know. With regards to treatment and your experience. And I wanted to actually just have this on record and share it with other people. I don't see quite a lot of this type of content out there, and yeah. So the first question for me, what is your journey? Can you maybe start there? Where did your journey with reproductive health start? Have you always had issues with reproductive health? How long ago did your reproductive health issues start? And we'll get into what actually reproductive health issues you've experienced in your life.
All right. So it first started with, we got married December 2006 with my husband, and then we wanted to start a family right away. And then, the baby came as planned. No problem, nothing. Everything is working. The machine is working well. And our daughter was born October 2007. And then we planned. We had a plan. We always wanted 4 children. And we said, okay, we're going to space them 2 years. Or please give them each 2 years to experience being the baby. And then, and also for me to recover and forget. You know how it is.
It's like that.
So just to forget, even 3 would be fine. So when my daughter turned 2, we started now, trying for another baby. So what happened is immediately after giving birth to her, we were staying in Durban, I got a gynae. She said to me, here's this young little girl, 21-year-old. She doesn't know much. I've never used contraceptives before. So she's like, okay, you have to start using contraceptives now, because if not, you're going to be here again. So imagine somebody telling you that just after giving birth. What would you do? Bring it on, sister.
And you don't do much
exactly
research.
So I didn't do research. I didn't know. So I just said to her, what's the best one I could take? She said, okay, do you like taking pills? And I said, no, I'm not a person with pills. And then she said, okay, there's Depo and then there's Neri Straight. And I said, I think I heard something about Depo. I don't want that one. Can I have Neri Straight? And then she said, yes, take Neri Straight. So I took Neri Straight then on. And then Neri Straight until I think the first year, and then halfway through the second year, when my child was, I think, 1 year, 6 months, I stopped using it because I was prepared, because on the second year, you need to start. So 6 months
and you have
down
to give
line,
the injection
exactly,
sometime to kind
wean
of
off my body, And then I think it took another year, we're trying nothing. And then the second year, now we're in Joburg. I found a new gynae by Tepotemba, a very cold lady. I was like, no, I need to find another gynae, And then the second year goes, the 2009, excuse me, did a pregnancy test. It came up positive with a faint line, It was like, oh, I'm not sure. Let me go. So there's a center called, before they moved to EXP, it was Medicross the Berg. I went there. There was a gynae there, a male gynae, and I don't like male gynaes, but I was like, okay, he's here, I might as well, So I went to him, and then he confirmed that, yes, you are pregnant. So I've got offices by Park Lane Hospital, so you can see me there, because I only come here on Thursday or whatever. I can't remember whatever day of the week, so you only see me here once a week. So if I need to see him on a regular, I have to go to Park Lane. So I was like, sure, no problem. Made an appointment, going to see him. And then in between me going for my, I think, 3rd appointment, I started experiencing period pain cramps. And then I was like, no, something is not right. And then I had like a brown discharge coming out. And then I went to him. When I went to him, I told him, he's like, oh no, you need progesterone and take it easy, it's in work-wise. So I took progesterone and nothing got better. The pains, I remember this one day, a friend of mine came to visit me, and then we were sitting here, and I'm like, no, I'm feeling like I'm having period pain cramps. They intensified. And I remember I went to my daughter's bedroom and I lied down there, and then she said, okay, let me prepare something for you, dinner, so that you don't have to cook. God bless her soul. So she cooked for me. And then after that, I'm like, no, I think you need to call my husband. Something is not right. Then she called my husband. My husband came, fetched the kids. She stayed with my kids at her house. And then me and my husband went to hospital because now I was clotting. Okay. Then when I got there, the doctor came. She's like, no, your cervix is tight, so it can't be a miscarriage, but something is not right. I'll advise that you go see your gynae. Who's your gynae? I tell her. And she's like, make sure that you go see him, first thing tomorrow morning. Then I got discharged. I didn't sleep over. I got home the following morning, went to see my gynae. When I get to see him, he's like, it was a Friday, I remember. I was like, sorry, when he examined me on the ultrasound, it's like, sorry, this is a pregnancy gone wrong, and I'm sorry I can't do a DSC on you. I'm going on holiday with my family, so I'll pass you on to mine. And I was like, how cold can this man be? You know, I just felt like somebody pulled a rug off. Or just under my feet. You get what I'm saying? Because we're like so looking forward to this baby. And now here's this guy telling me that the pregnancy gone wrong. And even the manner which he said it was very, I think I cried more because of that and what I was going through.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And then I went to the toilet, and then he brought this old man. So me and my husband, I remember in his office, we were so worried. I'm like, how is he going to perform this procedure on me? But I said, you know what? May all trust him. And he walked slowly. He came and he sat there and he held my hand. He gave me just what I needed, and he said, my child, this is God's way and nature's way of telling you this was not going to work out. So just accept it and you'll try again. And then he told me what's going to happen. He was so gentle. He was so, you know when they say don't judge a book by its cover? You know, when he came, I thought, as he said that, he gave me exactly what I needed. So we went, did the procedure, fine, time goes on. Still, so as I go out, the first thing I did was look at they had a monitor screen with all the doctors' faces and names. So as I passed, I saw this once written Selina Ramazzoso Kaini, and I was like, she's young. She's like, I just vibed with her there, you know, and I was like, I think this is the gynae that I want to use from now on, because I don't want to go back to that man after what I went through, you know. So yeah, and then I went home. We tried and tried. After I healed, nothing happened. A year passed, nothing happened. So I went to Ramatosa for my annual pap smears.
How many years is this now since
so
your
now this
first
is
child?
From, so remember my child was born 2007, and then 2009 I fell pregnant, so that's 2 years. And then I think 2010, that's when I started going to see Ramatosa now, so that I can see if I've healed properly and all that. Did the pap smear, everything came out clear. And then something prompted me to ask her that, you know what, doc, we've been trying for a baby now. And I think it was 2011 when I said that, because I said it's over a year since I had my DNC. You know, the DNC is that scraping of the. So I was like, I don't know what's happening. Maybe something is not right. And then she said, I'm also wondering. You know what? I'm going to take you through to go do, I think it's a hydrosalpingograph. You know that thing where they put a dye into your, they just put a dye, insert a dye on you, and then it has to pass through. They're testing whether the tubes are blocked or not. Yeah, I can't remember what they're called. Yeah. Yes, so I went for that, and then they did that test, and then I remember when I was supposed to receive the results, the doctor, I called and I said, I did this thing like a week ago. I still haven't received my results. And then obviously I wasn't talking to the doctor, I was talking to the receptionist. And then she said, no, let me check with doctor. And then a few minutes later, she calls me and she says, no, doctor hasn't received anything. So my husband works close to Park Lane. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go with you tomorrow morning. And I'm passed by that radiology and get my results. I went there, got there, lady gave me my results. They haven't went to the doctor yet. They were just sitting there on a file. And then I just took my results and I sat down right there by radiology. I was all by myself. I opened it, and then the diagnosis said, I think it was my right tube was blocked. And then the left tube, it was blocked, but because of them inserting the thing, it got open. So it is working compared to the right one. And then my question was, what causes that? Because they said it's a liquid that's stuck there. But I'm thinking, what caused that liquid? What is that?
So at this point, are you now sitting with a doctor?
No, I'm all by myself.
You're just reading
my
microbiologist.
And then the diagnosis said I've got secondary infertility.
Interesting.
I had the shock of my life. Then I went to Dr. Google. What is secondary?
As we do.
Exactly.
As we
what
all
is
do.
secondary infertility? They say, okay, if you've had a child before, children before, and then after, it's determined that you can't have any more children for whatever reason. And I was like, but what does this mean? Does it mean I'm not gonna? Because I was so looking forward to have a boy, because I had a girl. It's like, so I'm not gonna have a boy ever. What is this? Then I call my husband. I'm hysterical.
You still haven't seen the doctor?
Yet. No. I am crying my lungs out. It's like, when they told you somebody died, for me it was a dream. For me it was my desire. I felt like it's dead. I can't have any more children. I sobbed like somebody died. I cried. He came there and he's like, what's wrong? And I showed him, and then he's like, okay, come down. So at his work, there's this lady who's a psychologist. So she said, I'd advise that you go talk to her. But that was on Monday. So I remember I went there on a Friday. So Monday, I went there and saw Sherry. So Sherry went through the same thing as me. She had a son, and then after that, secondary infertility. She tried all these things that a woman can try, like in vitro, but still couldn't. Excuse me. And then she decided, you know what? I accept my gift. God has granted me one child, and that's it. So for me, it was a blessing that I got to talk with somebody who's walked a mile in my shoes. So they understand what I'm going through. Because I came home, told my grandma, said, oh no, I'm sorry, you'll be fine. But I felt like they're not getting me. They're not understanding me. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. When you talk to somebody who's been or who's going through what you're going through, you go like, oh, finally I get somebody who understands me,
I think because a lot of reproductive health issues, people don't see the external injuries or the external effects. Even with the pains, when you go through pains, when you go through the emotional, psychological impact that it has on you as a person. And I can imagine people, you have one child, it's at least you have one. People say at least you have one child, and yeah. So I think we have it's quite similar, but not our stories are not 100% the same. I'll say one of the things that I wanted to find out from you, that as much as this journey, as far as you remember, started when you were trying to conceive the second child, or your awareness of it. When you think back of your teenage years and when you started your period and just your experience of periods, was there any kind of, looking back now, any kind of indication?
No.
Absolutely
my
nothing.
Periods
your
were
family
normal.
History?
Everything was normal. But now, my grandmother had a daughter, and that daughter died, I think 5 months, when she was 5 months or 3 months old. I can't remember. I might be swapping the months. But I could say the first child died 5 months after she was born, And then she tried for the second child, had a boy. He died, I think, 3 months after he was born. And then she struggled to have another child. Then she took her younger sister, had 2 children who were older now than her children. Let me just put it that way, because now her children were born and they were okay. And then now I didn't know, way back then they were not so well informed. They didn't have many opportunities like we do and resources like we do now. So I think she didn't know that she had polycystic ovarian syndrome. I'm assuming it's that. There's no confirmation because of the duration of her getting pregnant, because she struggled to have my mom,
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. You see, so with me, I found out that my mom had 2 miscarriages, but I found out, I think at the point where I started now attending, gynaes and trying to get some treatment for these reproductive health issues. My journey, I'll come back to how what you did after that. Okay. My journey started, I had my first child, Zoe, at 2011. Okay. That's when I had my first child. Very easy. Very easy. a love child. It was, not the best in terms of preparation for it, but it was the most easiest thing. So
We
you
all
don't
went through
think
that, hey? We prepare
like,
for the child, but
yeah,
other things
other
it's
things
like to see them
happen,
along the way.
and boom, oh great,
Yeah.
we're happy to have the child. And then I was also put on contraceptives. I remember taking her to the clinic, the first immunization after post being released from hospital.
Yes.
So Zoe was a prem baby.
Oh, yeah.
So I think even then I should have known, because I still don't know why I delivered. I had an emergency C-section. What I know is that the what you call this?
How many weeks were you, if I may ask?
31.
Okay. I was 37 weeks.
Yeah.
With my daughter.
So Zoe was 31 weeks, which was quite crazy because I was having incredible pains. Incredible pains. I mean, there was a time when I was 7 months pregnant. I was this one night when I was then taken to hospital, I was crawling. Wow. I couldn't stand up straight. It felt like there's a tear. Something is tearing inside of my womb, and I had to walk, almost like crawl or walk arched to kind of alleviate the pain or avoid having pain. So then I think it was the same night or the following night I was then taken to the emergency hospital, and then I was charged. I was checked overnight. The gynae came, no ultrasound, just did a pelvic examination, and then but there was no ultrasound. I mean, everything was normal until I started getting these cramps. Actually, no, I'm lying. I did have at 16 weeks. I did have amniotic fluid, a discharge of amniotic fluid gushing out. Yeah,
sure.
And I was put on bed rest. So I was not working. I quit my job. Story for another day. So I knew that I had a high risk pregnancy. Then 31 weeks, I was taken to that emergency ward. I was checked. The next morning or 12 p.m., I went in midnight. 12 p.m., I was discharged. Sure. They said I'm okay. When I got home, I think at about 4 p.m., more water, blood, I started bleeding, and I was wheeled to the emergency for an emergency delivery. And they said the placenta had ruptured. Oh, no. So it was quite a very, if you look into that, that's very dangerous for the baby. We could have both, not made it. So so that was the first, but I never thought much of it. And then life continued. Right? Life continued normally. I'm having my periods, everything is happening. And then up until 2018, 2017, I started having extremely bad periods. And then when I did have them, and then they were very regular. I would miss, I think months went by, and I was happy about that. Of course. I didn't care for it. Of course. I didn't think about it. But so when I went to the doctor, then I said, let me just go to the gynae because I'm experiencing these pains. And then when I do have periods, they are very painful and with clots, right? And they're very irregular. So those are the things that I was experiencing. When I got in, I went to Dr. Mzi, very well-known doctor. Yes. And I grew, growing up, you'd see her on SABC talking about all reproductive health issues. You don't imagine. Never imagine one day I'll be sitting in her office. And when I got there, for me, it was very quick. She just diagnosed me with me describing what I'm going through.
What you were going through. Yes.
And she said, PCOS. I said, PCOS. Have I ever heard of this condition before? I felt like I've heard it somewhere because I watched a lot of Oprah. I watched a lot of talk shows. So I must have, had an indication, but I didn't know what that is. So she had to then explain to me what PCOS is. Yes. But I'm going to pause there and take it back to you're now talking to your family and they're trying to comfort you and all these things are happening. When did you get back to the doctor and actually?
So I called the doctor on our way back Friday from because it's the same building, but now the doctor, I didn't even have the energy to just walk a floor up to my gynae and say, here's the results and what, like I was just too distraught. So we drove home. When I got home, come down, took the phone, called the doctor's offices, which is my gynae now, and then I told them that, you know what, can they please, because I asked the radiology to please send a copy to them. So I was checking if they did get it. And then he said, yes, we did get it. And I said, can you please tell doctor I need to see her on Monday because I can't wait. And then they said, okay, no problem, come in. Monday, I started at the doctor before I went to see Sherry. So I went to the doctor and she said, Manyo, so you just decided when we are with Dr. Google.
He diagnosed.
Yeah, well, he diagnosed her hysterical, you know, and I love her. She just mellows any situation, you know. She's like, no, I'm here to help you. And she said, okay, so she took, you know, the statue of the vagina, and then she said, this is probably what's happening. This tube is blocked, okay? I think it's a hydrosol things or whatever, that liquid that's there. What causes it? It's unknown. Okay. And then she said, you see, there's all that, I don't know what they call those things. There's a term for them where the eggs are.
Yes, they're attached.
And then they just, she says, so what happens is you might find that those things are closing your eggs, like your ovaries, like this, preventing the eggs to travel into the uterus for fertilization. Or maybe they are working, probably your ovaries are clogged. Then you have to go through. And he said, what I love about my gynae, she's well acquainted with her colleagues, I could say. She knows who's good at what. Yeah. So she's like, I'm going to send you. She could do it, but she said, I'm going to send you to because I trust that he would do an amazing job. You're going to go to Dr. Kabamba. I know you don't like male gynaes, but I'm going to transfer you to him because he's a fertility specialist on top of being a gynae. So he's going to help you with this. And I said, okay, no problem. Then he called, made an appointment.
Have they diagnosed you? What is the condition?
Going there.
Okay.
So now he's like, she just interpreted that radiology report for me with the eyes of a professional. Guys, don't go to Dr. Google. Whatever you do, however distraught you might be, don't go there because you might make the situation worse than what it is, you know. But I like that, you know. And I went to see Sherry. When I spoke to Sherry, she told me what she went through. So emotionally, she made me understand why I cried like somebody died. She said, no, that's a death of your dreams, a death of your, you know. She took me through it and she showed me how to cope, how to, you know, and I liked that about her. Now, fast forward to me going to see Dr. Kabamba. I go see Dr. Kabamba and he says, no, we need to do a laparoscopy. What is that now? You know, I didn't know what laparoscopy. What is that? He said, no, we're going to make 3 incisions on you. 1 on the navel and 2 on the sides for the cameras to go in. Okay? All right. And she says, yeah, that's how we do now. You know, we no longer do that intense, invasive operation and all that. This is how we do things now. I was like, oh, okay. He says, we're going to be operating inside you without opening too much, you know, like looking at the cameras and all. And I said, oh, so would I be, I hate being put under. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it, guys. I'm claustrophobic. I love my freedom. So anything that confines me, I'm not for it.
Every time I've gone for an operation, that's the biggest issue for me.
Exactly.
I overthink it, like to the last second. I'm like, how just things that you can't even describe or imagine.
You and I both can, because I'm like, you know what? I'm not scared.
I think for
me, emotional pain, my tolerance is small. I'm very sensitive. But when it comes to physical pain, I can bear up.
Same here.
But when it comes to that guys, I can't. I just feel like somebody's taking away my freedom. And especially when you go for cesarean, you know, they numb you from here to there. That is part of not feeling my feet. You know, people get scared about the pains, the what, I don't get scared about that. I get scared about
you cannot
that.
Move.
Exactly. When I get now to Dr. Kabamba, after he explains the whole procedure, he gives me a date. So it's like I went today. And he says, tomorrow you need to come in. I've got an opening there. It was just so, you know, I like that because it didn't give me too much time to go and think about, what's going to happen, what's going to go Google again, I'm that person. So, following day, I go in. There was me and these other 2 ladies. One was older than me, one was younger. And then we were older with reproductive issues. So the older one, the one who's older than me, went in. When I got to the ward, she was already in theater. And it took hours. And then I started panicking, saying, "Oh, is this how long it's gonna take for me?" And you know how the mind goes, and then plays tricks on me. And I was like, "Okay, no, stop overthinking this. We are different people here with different things. Just stop doing that." For me, I'm just thinking about the time that I'll be out. Okay. So she went in. She came, and then when she came, she was unconscious. She didn't, wake up quickly.
Okay.
I was like, "Yo,
panic."
Yeah. Then I'm calming myself down at the same time. So this other girl, I think she went after me or before me, I can't remember. And then I went. When I went and I started talking to, it was my way of coming down, talking to the nurse. And she said, "No, come down." Then when she took my blood pressure, I was like, "Yo, hey, you are scared, young." And I said, "Hey, can you stop focusing on that?" And then I calmed down. Then the Dr. Kabamba came, held my hand, and she said, "Don't worry, you'll be fine. So I'm gonna put this mask on. You're gonna." That was the first time I got like,
being put out.
It was for me. It's like I never said it was the first time I died alive.
I say that I'm like, hopefully I'll make it back to you guys.
And then she said, "Just let's count 1, 2, 3."
Hey, you're trying to hold it. Hold
like,
it together. I'm not gonna sleep. Next thing you wake up,
exactly.
It's done. It's done.
Yeah, when you wake up,
Yeah,
it's like, exactly. So all I remember is this guy shaking me, calling me Leo. And then I could see him far, but and it's like, okay, we're back.
And you
we
have
made
a whole conversation like you've been conscious.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
just to prove like
I'm done.
You're okay.
So quick. It's like, no, it wasn't quick. It took like actually an hour and a half. Really? It's like, yeah. Okay, fine, but it went well. So the doctor comes like, "No, it went well. You're just gonna go to your ward, and I'll see you tomorrow morning to give you the verdict." So I went to the ward, and now when he came, he started talking to the younger one, the one who's older than me, and I was the last one. So when he comes to me, he says, "No, you have PCOS." What is that, doctor? Polycystic ovarian syndrome. What, do I have cysts? I mean, you hear cystic, so many cysts. That's what I thought. And he said, he laughed, and he said, "No. Yeah, for some it might be something like that, but yours, this is how it is." He says, the reason why you are not getting pregnant, excuse me, was because your ovaries were closed. So what I did is I drilled them. And I said, "So you literally took a drill and drilled my ovary?" He says, "Yes, I did that. I drilled." And I'm saying, "Okay, so do I have to come all the time for this? Every time I want to fall pregnant and you drill?" And then he says, "No, that's not going to happen. I did it now. So all that I'm going to ask you to do is eat well, lose weight, especially around your waist, and forget about pregnancy. It will happen." He says, "Your case is not severe. You will fall pregnant after what we did. Okay. Just lose weight and exercise and avoid stress."
Jeez.
Okay. So
and how did you feel?
This PCOS? Because now I want to find. She said, "No, it might be that it's hereditary for you. Look at your history. What had?" Then I shared about my grandmother, and he said, "Highly likely that you take it from your mom." And I said, "My mom had me, and then had my brother years after, so I won't tell whether she had or not." And then she said, "Okay, probably it is hereditary in your case." And I was like, "Okay," because I thought maybe it was caused. I started thinking nourish straight. That's why, because now my period, after stopping it, I didn't go my periods for a year. It was my period started going havoc, because I couldn't have regular periods anymore. And the next moment they're here, the next moment they're not there. The next moment you have them for a day, the next moment you have them for 5 days. The next moment it's just a streak of blood. The next moment it's clots. It was just irregular like that. It was very crazy. And in the mix of that, of course, I wanted a baby. I couldn't get a baby. You go through that emotionally, you're about to be drained. Okay. So now after he tells me about this PCOS, I listened. The other one was endometriosis, and then unfortunately for the one who's older, she didn't have children. Both of them didn't have children, by the way. I had a child. So that's why I started accepting. I said, even if the doctor told me that I would have, I didn't want to dwell on that. I said, "Heavenly Father, I'm grateful I have one child. I'll accept that. Because here's this lady next to me. She can't have, they tried everything. She cannot have children. That other one, they said chances are high, but it's going to be tricky." Exactly. I think a few years later, I met her at Woolworths, pushing a child in a pram. You don't want to imagine how. I mean, you don't know how happy I was for her. It was even an emotional moment because we walked that mile together. And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "It's like you." And I'm like, "Yeah, here's it," because my child was like, my son was 2 years older, and hers was still small in a pram. And I was like, "Wow, here we are," you know. So from there, I went home, did exactly what the doctor said. I remember this one day we were at.
Let me just take you back, okay? Because I want to take you back because it's quite interesting for me that our diagnosis is different and how PCOS it affects us differently.
Exactly.
When I went to Dr. Mtsi, I had a large cyst. That was the thing that was causing me all this pain and all of that. So they found that I had a cyst, and like you, I had to have a laparoscopy just to suck out the cyst, the contents of the cyst, right? And so it's interesting to me that I also was told I have to lose weight. They explained what PCOS is and what it does, the insulin resistance, and that's why you're gaining weight, the hair loss, and I'm like, okay, that's why I lost, seeing that I'm losing hair, but this is the first time I'm hearing about how you described that your tubes were ovaries were closed. Because mine, the ovaries they were saying were enlarged, they were overactive and they were enlarged, and which affects how the release of the normal cycle, how it happens. The hormones are just all over the place, and that's why I haven't been having a period regularly, and then the cyst was an effect, right? And I had to deal with it. I had a laparoscopy to deal with the cyst. So it's quite interesting. Did you have any pains? Were you experiencing any pains?
When now?
When you got diagnosed, you found out that it's PCOS. But prior to that, was your only indicator the fertility issue and the fact that you had lost the pregnancy and a fertility issue?
Okay, the indicator was the fertility issue, and then secondly was the irregularity of my periods. Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, I didn't.
No cyst.
No.
Okay.
No,
weight
none
gain.
Whatsoever. Weight gain, yes, because I would go eat well, do all these things, go to gym, and the weight you lose it the first week, and then after you do not, you just balloon again, and then you wonder what is happening. I just kept on ballooning.
Were you not hard on yourself, like maybe trying harder to the point of maybe not eating much?
No way, darling. I was like, I tried. Me, I'm that person.
You will balloon.
Positivity all the way. I said, I try my best. It ain't working. Me, I'm gonna go back to eating the food that I like.
If it's not working, are you not saying I'm supposed to do something harder, or I'm not? No. You are sure that I'm really
I just said I'm doing my best. There's nothing more that I can do than this.
Oh, that's great.
So I was like, I'm just going to continue eating my food. We'll see along the way, because I can't stress myself with something I can't control.
Right.
So it's like, but yes, it was me dealing with it, but it didn't mean that it didn't affect me somewhere in the back of your head. You'd have it one of those days where you're like, I lose weight, I do this, I do, and you cry, you wipe yourself, you get up again, you try it, and then you give up. Not giving up, but just continue with life. We'll see it when we see it. Because sometimes you have to breathe, guys. Right. Especially when you've tried everything, when you feel like you've done everything in your power to help, improve the situation. But now, if you're not winning, I tried.
I was definitely, after that diagnosis, similar to what your doctor said. Dr. Mtsi said, you're going to have to lose weight. Okay, this is PCOS. Your ovaries are, enlarged, and they will cause cysts. Infertility, the big word, also came up. At this point, I had a child. This was 2017, and my child, I had her in 2011. I was married, and we were not necessarily actively trying for a baby, but I should have fallen pregnant.
Exactly.
biology.
Yeah.
And I never really thought of it. Obviously, in my marriage, I've talked about this before in another video. I was not in a happy marriage at that time, so in a way, I was not really bothered. Okay, although I did want to have a family, there were other things that were happening. So the fertility issue was, it was not a big
thing.
It was not a big thing as yet. All right, and then I had the laparoscopy. The doctors showed me the pictures. They show you the gory pictures. What's going on inside
you
there?
You were lucky they showed you. I didn't get shown any of
I
those.
got the pictures, and they also found endometriosis. So 2017 as well, it was PCOS and endometriosis. So the pain was also endometriosis. So PCOS, go and lose weight. She gave me metformin. I don't know what treatment you were given.
Nothing.
I was given metformin because I was like, how am I gonna lose? I've been trying to lose weight since I've had a baby, because when people look at me, they're like, oh, I'm sure you've been, big all your life. I'm like, no, look at the pictures. I was not. I was an active child. I used to play sports. I was not, skinny, but I've never really struggled with weight. Exactly. And that's why I would just eat whatever. And then
same here.
At some point in my life, I started now looking into eating greens, banting, you name it, eating low carbs. That was my life. And it was not a gym. I've always had a gym membership. I do the most. I love working out. But you don't lose weight. And what's different for me, I definitely felt like I was not doing enough. I've always felt like, eat less, do this, and you feel guilty when you're eating and all of that. And then I've talked about this to people that know me personally. I have a bald patch on the top of my head. Now that is the thing that really
gets to you.
That gets to me. That gets to me. If you see me now looking good and I'm house at it's the worst thing on earth. Exactly. It's like, I think
that's like the crown of every woman. The hair can look good, Dali, and you wear sloppy. You feel like a queen. You feel like $1 million.
I'll put a picture of myself when I was a kid. I have lots of hair, And if you look at my kids as well, they have lots of hair. And I never knew why. I started losing the hair in varsity, but I didn't know why. What was the cause until I was diagnosed. So she said, go lose weight. I'll give you metformin. It will assist, in regulating the insulin and the insulin resistance, and hopefully you lose the weight. Once you lose weight, the ovaries will shrink as well. The hormones will be balanced, and you will get back, to a regular state, in a healthy state. There's no cure. That's what they say. There's no cure. Yeah. So then anyway, I went about my life, and I'll tell you what actually happened, but I want to get back to your story. And then you were told, go lose weight. You've accepted. Yeah, I've accepted. The baby thing. One child. We will put it aside.
But I guess it was there, at the back of my head. It wasn't on the surface. It was somewhere down there, because I thought, I've got one child, let me go on with my life.
It's a lot to also take in.
Exactly. So
no treatment.
No treatment. Because I asked him, what treatment am I going to take? He said, no, you don't need anything.
Treatment
just
is weight
exercise,
loss.
Lose weight, stress less, forget about baby. And everything will fall into place. All right.
And did you lose weight?
And then I went, lost weight. I lost it for a while.
Okay.
I went.
How much were you supposed to lose?
He didn't tell me how much. He just said, go lose weight. Work on you. Work on you, the best version of you. I think he was just trying to divert me also from thinking about the baby a lot. And then fine, I lost weight a bit. I didn't reach my ideal weight because I was around, I think, 79 at that point. And I wanted to go. When I got married, I was 55. Now 79. It's like, okay, I don't want to go back to 55, but at least 65.
Yeah.
It's that I couldn't get there. When I was 79, I ballooned again. Okay, now, not balloon. That time I didn't balloon.
Okay.
I lost that weight and I got to my 79. And I maintained that weight. And then this other day, we're sitting at church. A friend of, not friend, but acquaintance of ours, they had their son. He was there to be blessed. My husband was away. He was in Spain, I remember. And I'm sitting there, and as they blessed the child, I cried again.
A trigger.
Exactly. Just when I thought I got this under control, but no, girl, I wasn't. It was
how many years
somewhere.
now is it?
That is 20, I think 2014. 2014, early 2014. And then I think my cousin saw me, because we attended the same ward together, and she came, and hugged me. She didn't say much, she just hugged me, it will be okay. I think she kind of understood what I was going through. And Monday, I went with another friend of mine, and my friends are older than me, by the way. I'm an old soul, young as I am. Old souls, I like them, I vibe with them. I feel like they understand me more, and I gel more with them. I do have, friends my age, but I'm more of a, matured gang vibe girl kind of girl. So this lady, sister, I call them my sisters, 10 years older than me. And actually, that's my boss's wife now, because then I wasn't working for them. So at that point, I'm like, yo, I'm not well. She comes here, she's like, no, I'm taking you to the doctor. Why? But I'm okay. He says, no, Sifiso is fine. He's worried about you. So he said, I must come take you to. But I can drive myself. No, I'll take you. He said, I must come and take you. Hi, okay, and I'm laughing.
What was the issue? Was it the emotional distress?
Then I was feeling sickly.
Okay.
Like, when your body is dear, but you can't tell what is what.
Absolutely.
And I had pains also here around the pelvic area. I couldn't understand what was. And then we went to the doctor, just the GP in Soweto. I said, no, let's go to my GP in Soweto. She needs no booking and all that. If I go there, though we're going to stand in a queue, but I know she'll sort me out. We get there, bubbly. All my doctors are bubbly, by the way. And she's like, hey, okay, hop on there. What's wrong? And then she's like, okay, what we're going to do now is you're going to do a urine test. I have to test pregnancy. I have to test your bladder. I have to test, and I said, why are we doing pregnancy tests? Don't do that, because I can never be pregnant. And then she's like, sorry, I hear what you're saying, but I have to do due diligence by my work. I have to do it. And I said, okay, brace yourself. Go there, take the urine sample, give it to her. They run the test. She comes back. Wow, congratulations. Wow. You are pregnant. Now, this is 2 days after that Sunday when I was crying. Oh, wow. And then I'm like, say what? She says, you're pregnant. Wow. Me. So because of that previous experience, I didn't want to. Then my sister friend asked me, so what's wrong? I said, no. She said, I've got bladder infection. So she just gave me the pills and the treatments, just to treat it. And she said, oh, at least it's nothing hectic. Got home, husband calls. You've been to the doctor. Yes, what's the verdict? Well, she says we're pregnant. Then he laughs like this big chuckle. He's over the moon. And I was like, don't get too excited. Yeah. She's like, no, I can feel it in my bones. This is the one. And I said, okay. Brushed it off still. And then this other time I'm driving to fetch, because my kids used to stay with my mom, and so I would fetch them every day, So on my way back from my mom coming to my place, I started having this panic attack while I was driving, thinking about, they said I'm pregnant. And remember I closed the chapter, and I think I aligned my mental well-being and emotional well-being to saying and accepting that I'm not going to have a child again. Now I have to come out of that shell, break those walls, and accept now this thing that I've already buried and said it's not going to happen, and I just started having that, and I'm driving. And then I'm like, okay, no, calm down. I drove. The closest place I could go to was my uncle's place. I got there and I cried. Now, they don't understand what's happening. What's wrong? Did you have an accident? And then he got me in a private room there, just me and him. And then he said, baby, what's wrong? And I told him, because I call him Papa. Papa, this is what happened. I just had this news, but then he said, okay, I'll give you a blessing. You'll be fine. And he just blessed me. And I started feeling still somewhere, Then husband comes back, he's over the moon. So my doctor said, make sure it was still December. I remember that time. So it was actually December of
2014?
24. No.
Okay.
December, not December 2014, it was December of 2013.
Okay.
So now I go, it was still early on when they got it, and that's another thing that made me not to get excited. For me, when you do the sonogram, I can't see the head, the what. I don't get excited. Okay, no heartbeat, nothing. I'm like, I don't want to get excited. So now she said January, because December doctors also, they are human beings. They need to go relax and have time, to themselves and their families and enjoy the holidays. He says, okay, make sure that January you go see your gynae. Okay, I got home that day, called my gynae, and then he said, okay, come see me in January on this day because we're closing now. I said, no problem. Come January, we go there. When we get there, there's the tiny human being, and then he said to me, listen to this. And then I heard the heartbeat. I cried. I cried, So yeah, then that's how my boy got to be born. Then after the boy, I'm like, thank you, Heavenly Father. Now I have a girl and I have a boy. I have my pigeon prayer and I'm satisfied. Thank you for granting me that wish. And I was on the mini pill now after my son. Then we're going about, when he was, I think, 3 years, I stopped the mini pill and I was using Mary Straight again. And then I came to that point of saying I'm stopping this because I started feeling that it's not good for my body. I'm ballooning. What made you feel? Yeah, I was gonna ask. What made you feel that? Because it's a whole conversation as well. Exactly. Emotionally, I'm a wreck. I've got this dream that I've always dreamed of. I'm supposed to be the happiest person ever. You're not enjoying life, but I'm not. And I'm like, no, man, let me stop this thing. You're not just I don't like it. Exactly. Then I went and I said, no, I'm gonna stop taking this and let nature take its course. And also knowing that I'm PCOS. So I was like, I don't need this anyway. I'm polycystic, Contraception working. Exactly. A thing happening. Wow. But I keep on ballooning, like severely so. And then going back, and then balloon, and then go back. That's not nice. That's not good. And then I'm like, you know what? And you get the comments. Oh, you gained so much weight. Oh, my goodness. And I'm like, guys, can you just, guys, we have mirrors, I always say that. Like, you think I didn't see myself leaving the house? Thank you. I know. The clothes don't fit. I know. They don't. My body. So I know exactly how I look and how I feel. Oh my gosh. And you don't know how I feel if you see how I look like, but I know how I feel and how it feels like to be there. So fine. Then I stopped that. That's 2018. I also started getting sick again. Oh, wow. That's how my pregnancies come out to be. That's always interesting for me. People get sick. Yeah, for me it's always pregnancy. Actually with my first child. I went to this doctor and he said to me in Durban, he said I've got bladder infection. Oh, wow. And I was taking the treatment, but something said to me, when you feel, when you know in your gut of guts that when you're pregnant, No. Like, And then I said to my friend, let me go buy a pregnancy test. I'll do it. Woke up 5 o'clock in the morning, first urine. Just the test. Here's the 2 lines. And I was like, bladder infection for who? Then I went back to him and I said, and then he said, oh, I'm so sorry. Just stop it. But I left him and went to another doctor. And then he said, okay, confirm your pregnancy. And then, then I went to the gynae. So with my second one, it was also blood infection was there, by the way, but I told my sister friend the blood infection part. I didn't reveal the pregnancy part to her because the less people know about this, the better. Absolutely. Exactly. And then now with my third born, same thing, bladder infection. When I get there, it's like, oh, you have Dr. Ramat's like, oh, you have bladder infection, but darling, there's somebody sweeping there. Surprise, there's a baby. No, the third one was a surprise. Oh, wow. And I was like, okay, she's here. Or it's here. But at that time, I didn't know whether it's a girl or a boy. And it came out to be a girl born in March 2018. Then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm fine. 2018, when she was born, I lose weight easily after giving birth. Okay. And then, I think a few months down the line, now I'm not using any contraceptive, by the way. They gave me pills. I chucked them away. I didn't want to use them. Because I came to that resolution, I'm not using any contraception because I felt like they are the ones that are making me go haywire with my weight and emotions. And then I started using Herbalife. A friend introduced me to that. Started off well. I'm at gym, everything is going right. Doing Zumba, I'm losing weight. After that, I've never swelled up like I swelled up. I'm not even going to call it ballooning. I swelled up. And then I remember we drove to Durban. When I got there, I think I told you the story now of my weight loss journey now, and my knowing the other things that polycystic ovarian syndrome causes in your body that I wasn't aware of. So when I got to Durban, my friend who's a nurse saw me. You know when you get like, how do they call it? I don't know. You know when you're pregnant and you swell up, it's like you have water in between.
Edema.
Edema. Yes, I looked like that. My feet and my hands. Gosh. And then she's like, my friend, no, you're not okay. Do you have high blood pressure? And I'm like, no, I don't have high blood pressure. She's like, there's this doctor I know. There was this lady who had like a Barbie body. And then all of a sudden she has this, rectangular body, like a tiptoe rectangle. She looked masculine. So because of that, she started dressing up like a boy, like a man, when she dropped off her kids. And because now the body's like that, when she dresses like a woman, she looks silly. Out of shape. Exactly. So she thought, let me just dress like a man because I look like a man, And then they saw her. Then the next thing, I think a few months down the line, she went back to her Barbie body. She looked gorgeous. She said, I couldn't help myself. I went to her and I said, I'm sorry, I've been watching you from a distance and I'm seeing that, because she also started having broad shoulders, my friend. So she's like, I'm seeing what's happening with you, and I don't know, if you don't mind me asking, how did you do it? So she told her, here's the number, go to this doctor. It's Dr. Postman. May his soul rest in peace. He passed away like a few months ago. So last month, actually, early last month. So she got the contacts, and then she said, my friend, I think we should go see. And it was during COVID. So I'm like, hey, let's just go.
So you're going to the doctor for what exactly? Is it the
remember, swelling, it's the swelling, the weight, I just want to be better. And was there no doctor now? Because I kept on going to doctors. Here's another thing that I'm missing out. I started feeling pains on my joints. I started having things that are itchy. I don't know what those things are. Then they told me they are hives. And there's no cure for them. I didn't even know that there was a specialist for allergies. I went to an allergy specialist. When you get to a specialist and they look at you, they don't know what to say to you. And she's like, did you eat nuts? And I said, no. Did you eat this? I said, and she says, you know what? I don't even want us to go do allergy tests because it's not that. There's something. I don't know whether I should say go see. So I was just pushed from pillar to post, and I was tired, And every time I go to the doctor, I get given cortisone. I don't like cortisone. It worsens the situation. You're trying to lose weight, cortisone gives you appetite. You eat and then you swell up. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, I can't be taking cortisone, and it's only momentarily. It helps you that moment. The following day, you have again hives, and so I was like, why should I take this thing because it's not working for me? I tried the oats and what's this? Not bathing with too hot water, and then they say try to see what triggers. So it was during the time of COVID, so I thought maybe it's the use of sanitizers. I stopped using sanitizers. Still, I had these things. Now the joint pains, and then I started feeling lethargic. I would sit there on the couch. My daughter would be washing dishes, and we had COVID. So I thought maybe it's post-COVID thing. This long COVID. I thought maybe I have long COVID or something. Why is this happening soon after that? So I thought maybe it's related to COVID. So now coming to this point now when I go see this doctor. So I went to the doctor's office. They couldn't let us come in for obvious reasons during COVID. And they said, no, you need to do an online request to come see the doctor. Then after that, we'll send you an online form which you fill online and you email it back to us, and then we'll give you the date to come see the doctor. So it was that, June where I was like, it's fine. My husband's like, but it's in Durban, kid, it's fine. I'll travel there, I'll fly there if I had to. I was at that point. So they gave me, I think I went there around March, and they gave me July.
So when you're going to this doctor, you're going with the hope of losing weight? Or
losing weight,
PCOS?
Helping me find out what's happening.
Okay.
Already with I know everything, it's PCOS, and PCOS adds to that. But I said he has to help me with something because something
your body's
is
just
happening.
rejecting you at this point. Exactly.
Yeah. And then now he says, okay, I'll see you in July, the 5th of July, I remember. And now in the interim, I'm still going through my pains. I'm still going through my aches. I'm still lethargic. I'm still feeling like, when you feel like I am going to die at the rate that I'm going. I could see my life slipping away from me. If I don't get help, I am going to die. And even my mom could see me. I was like, no, you're not okay. I'm like, I'm not okay. And then in the mix of that, I think before my son, okay, we spoke about that, the miscarriage, and then we have the girl. Okay, fine. And then after the girl, it's that time now of COVID and weight loss and whatnot. And then, so when I get to Dr. Postma, she said to me, my darling, look at that number. I was weighing 105. I've never weighed that. I've never weighed that much, even when I was pregnant. Even on my third pregnancy, I didn't get there. So can you imagine the shock? 105.
You had not weighed yourself? Ever?
No. How do you go on a scale when you know that you're ballooning? I didn't want to depress myself. I was like, no, I'm not going to. So when I go to
I know that moment when you get over 100, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. So for me, it was the first time.
Out of control.
So he said, look at it. And I looked. And then she said, this is the last time you're going to see that. And then, so before you go see Dr. Postman, that's what I liked. Because I felt like I need a doctor who's going to take blood samples and check my blood. Because something is not right. It can't just be something external. There's something inside. So with him, you feel the forms, take it to him, your history and whatnot. And then he gives you lab forms. You go to any lab close to you, and then they take the results back. So when you go see him the first time, already he has your blood work there. So he told me insulin levels are high. Your thyroid, it's a little bit underactive, not so much. Those two combined together, when you try to lose weight, you're not winning. It's a losing battle. And then thirdly, your BP, because your body's fighting so much, it went high. It's not chronic. And he says, but when we deal with it, I'm going to give you something just for now to help you. And then he says, I'm going to also give you really slim that's going to help you with to curb your appetite and all that. And I said, no problem. And then he said, for this water retention, I'm going to give you any Spirectin also to help me with that. Yeah. So I was taking a lot of Spirectin in my life. I was taking pills. Now I have to take them. And I said, I'll gladly take them just so I get to recover. And I said, how long will I take this? And he said to me, you'll see me every 6 months. Every 6 months we'll review, but you'll see me every 3 months. So you were taking Spirectin? Spirectin. What is it? Slim appetite. Another name for metformin. The one that I was taking was, I'll take Bixen's 500 X500 for insulin. For insulin. Okay. And then I was taking really slim now to curb my appetite. Okay. And then the other one was L-Troxin for my thyroid. Exactly. Okay. So I took those. And then, so another thing with appetite suppressors, after some time your body gets used to it. Yeah. Yeah. So 3 months down the line, so from you have to I started adjust. July, August, September. So that's when I weighed myself because I knew it's going down. I can weigh myself. You can feel it. And then when I went to him, so it's July, August, September, October, I went to see him. When I went to see him, I was 20 kgs down. Wow. From 105, I think I was weighing 90. Yes. So 93. I was 93 or 83. 80 something. Yeah, because I remember I lost 20 plus kgs. And in that period, besides taking the meds, what are you doing? How's your mindset and your lifestyle? So he didn't just give me the medication, he also gave me a book called Post My Way. There he gives you foods to avoid, foods to eat. And then on the foods to avoid, he says, my darling, if it happens that you visit your mom or your auntie and they give you dumpling with beetroot and pumpkin and, says eat. Yeah. Those days where you feel like, I feel like KFC today, go eat. And I said, I like you. And then she said, some will tell you, stay away from soda, stay away from this. And he said, no, drink sugar free. Go for sugar free. Go for this. Avoid. He says, when I say avoid, I don't say don't eat altogether, just avoid. So it was nice. There was no restriction. Your mind so much that you just in this, restricted zone, and you're already feeling bad about yourself. Exactly. And food is comforting. I mean, food is such a good feel good thing to enjoy. Yeah. And now you're dealing with being sick, and now you have to be that little person in your family that's just like, well, here's your plate here.
with just 5
You get what I'm
carrot,
saying?
julienne and a lettuce. Just go eat there in the corner.
And they're busy
depressing.
socializing there and eating all the nice stuffs, and then when it's like
it's so depressing.
It is.
And then you lose this weight. You weigh yourself 20 kilograms
20 kg down, and then he said to me, "Stop weighing yourself
in my
every
head,
day." Say, "Stop weighing yourself every day. Just weigh yourself maybe 3 weeks after."
Yeah.
And he says, "Now this is what's going to happen. You're not gonna lose weight as much because now your body's used to this really slim. I'm gonna give you Top Lab. Top Lab, by the way, it's medication that's given for migraine and for people who've got epilepsy. Okay. So, but it has that appetite suppressing element to it. So I took that together with really slim. It worked wonders. And then she says when maybe let's say you're taking your 30-day pills, when they finish, you take 5 days without taking really slim or Top Lab so that the body readjusts. Okay. And then you start again. So for me, the third time before going to see him, unfortunately, is when he started getting sick. So he gave me Duramides. So he plays with it and says, okay, now, and you take blood test again. So I took blood tests. After 6 months, I went, took my blood test. He saw. And he says, okay, your thyroid is now normal. Your insulin resistance is also decreased, but we only short with a little, and then you'll be fine. And then now your BP is fine, stop taking that. And then your swollenness, you stop taking that as well. So you'll just be taking really slim, you'll just be taking Bixins, and you'll just be, now because I have, remember the joint pains, I forgot about that. He also gave me Puricos. So she said, I've got a whole lot of uric acid. That's what causes the pain there in the joints. I thought that maybe it's arthritis or whatever. I didn't know. It was just uric acid. And I said, is it caused by cold drink? He says, no. It's not cold drink. It's just crystallizing of, I don't know what, around the joints. And then it causes that pain. So when you take Puricos, it's going to help you over some time. Did the doctor link this to reproductive health? Or was it just something that... So he did tell me on our first visit, he said, you've got PCOS. So these are the symptoms that are, or the things that are associated, I could say the side bodies of PCOS. You're going to have insulin resistance. That's the first time that I started hearing about it. Imagine. I knew about PCOS then. The diagnosis. When at least they told you on the day that you're going to experience this, your insulin resistance. I only got to learn from Dr. Postma. He said, this insulin resistance is because of your PCOS. And then your thyroid, I can't say much. Maybe it's because of your body, going through what it's going through. And therefore, because it's hormonal. And PCOS affects your hormones. So it might be also a part of that. So we're going to deal with that. Okay. And you'll see after this, everything will come back together. Isn't it interesting that, one of the reasons why I want to talk about reproductive health and how it's such an important thing for us as women to, once you get it under control, once you at least have some sort of awareness, it's not just about, there's difficulties with, infertility, we've talked about that, but it can have, lifestyle issues, weight gain, but now it can also get into serious, if I should call them diseases or conditions that could hamper your life, your day-to-day living. Living with chronic pain and swelling up blood pressure. That is a metabolic disease that could, lead to heart attack, whatever, stroke. Exactly. That is very dangerous. Exactly. And to think it's starting from your womb somewhere. Yeah. How important it is, to be aware of it, all the symptoms. And that's why I keep checking with you, what were the indicators? Because I find a lot of women, when I listen to their stories, I'm kind of like diagnosing in the back of my mind, it's this or this or that. They don't actually, take the effort to go and check it out. But then we also don't have doctors like the one that you had. Exactly. That got to, properly give it a proper diagnosis, give you options that are effective. The thing for me that has been frustrating is go and lose weight. You figure it out. My part is to do this ultrasound, to run the blast, do the laparoscopy. I cannot lose the weight for you. Exactly.
And I'm like, but I've been trying. Can't you give me something? Is there something?
That's gonna help
and
me.
that is my biggest frustration with
Yeah.
our doctors, that I feel like you need some holistic intervention.
Exactly.
You cannot just be thinking as a gynae
Yeah.
and this reproductive system was supposed to now the ultimate outcome is having a baby. Besides that, you have to be living a healthy life, mental health. You know, the effects of this yo-yoing of your weight. It affects the joint pain. I have been having joint pain like as long as I can remember as an adult. Like just going around like every day. Every now and again I just be like going just to kind of stretch them. Your feet sometimes they lock. You know, and even talking about that, it's something that that has not even been attended. I have not even attended that because I live with it. Like the hives, you went to, you know, doctors that do with allergies. I just live with it because you get the idea that from your doctor, there's not much we can do.
Exactly.
And what I love about when you told me about your experience, like you lost weight, you said you showed me the pictures, and I was like, how in the world did you do it? Because it's like Everest.
Yeah,
Everest.
it is.
You know, just accept forever, and then like this is your hair. You're never gonna get your hair growing back. This is it for you. Find alternative means. Bigger clothes. Buy your wigs.
But you're still unhappy.
You're still very unhappy.
Exactly.
So and then where from the doctor and you have mentioned that the doctor has passed away now. Where are you now with everything? Are you since losing that 20 kilograms, did you continue losing? And you're expecting again? So the factory's working.
Yes,
the factory's working.
You know, I always say to people, Dr. Postma was my angel of life.
Wow.
At that moment when I thought I'm losing my life, he helped me gain my life. And when he got diagnosed with cancer, you know, he learned about it. I think it was endocrine cancer, might be wrong. And he only got to know when it was at its 4th stage. Oh, that's so and at that time, nothing much could be done. So he had to abruptly change his life, stop working, sell his practice, close down or sell, and then, but all that he needs to do is spend time with his family, the little time that he has left with his family. And it was a very tragic moment for all of us, you know. And I remember praying and saying, God, he helped me, help him. So he passes on, and then he sells his practice to this new doctor. I go see this new doctor. So I expected her to ask me to go take blood so that she can see where I'm at, because now it's over a year, you know, to see that how do you wean me off now, this meds, because I started feeling tired of taking the meds. I'm like, I know they help me, but I think now I have to stop. And what prompted me to stop was my husband started going to see this new doctor. So we wanted to start with Dr. Posner, but unfortunately Dr. Posner couldn't. So he got into Dr. I think Karani, who bought the thing. And then when my husband was taking the medication, I think on the 27th, my birthday was on the 27th, on the 26th we were at ER with my husband because he had, I think, something like palpitations or so. And then they referred us to a cardiologist there, Dr. Cha. And he went to see him a few days after, or weeks after. He said to him, what medications are you taking? And then, of course, you know, doctors can get your blood work anyway. If you've done your blood work anywhere in South Africa, they've got access to it. So he took that and he read it and he said, no, there was no reason for you to take medication for eltroxin. I mean, for thyroid. He sort of like got the same treatment like me. But for men, they don't use eltroxin, they use a different one. And then, so he took that. And as he takes it, he's like, no, you need to stop that medication immediately. It's not working well for you. And he says, for your wife, it worked. Because as you tell me what happened with your wife, it makes sense. And this doctor was monitoring her. You know, that's one thing about this type of intervention. You have to be monitored by a professional, and you can't take it for more than a year because some other things become collateral. Your heart becomes collateral to it. So what happens with thyroid, the thyroid medication and the metformin
Yeah.
and the Really Slim. What they do is they give you that effect that you get at the gym.
Yeah.
You get, like, if I go take my heart rate when I'm on that medication, it was always 105, 120, which is high. It's high for somebody who's not running, who's not doing anything. Because sometimes you feel your heart going, you know, beating faster, and it's like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. That's when I started now being more proactive and saying, no, I'm not gonna wait for this doctor. I'm gonna go. I know it's gonna seem like I'm telling her how to do her job, but that's not what my intention was. I was like, no, I feel strongly that I should be taking this. And then she says, no, but you're coming to see me. And I said, no, I want to take these before I come and see you. Can you please give me the sheet so I can go do my blood work to see where I'm at? And then I did that. And then when the blood work came, I went to my GP and I asked two GPs, the one in Soweto and the one here. And I said, can you please look at these for me? I'll charge you. Just give me your interpretation of them. They both came and said, you are okay, you don't need to. So what the doctor from Soweto said to me, just stop everything. And I want you after 6 weeks to go and take again. 6 weeks I went.
When was this?
Took again. It's like a few months ago.
Okay.
I went and took that. And then I think I did all this in March, by the way. Or April. Yeah, April. Between March and April. So I went and then stopped. Okay, the final one, the 6 weeks ended in April.
Okay.
So she said, just stop taking them and then go test again. So then I did that, and then I started, what was wrong with me? Oh, my husband got pneumonia. Okay. And he got hospitalized. He was there for like a week and a half. So I was busy, like, tending to him. He comes back. When he comes back, I start feeling sickly. Cramps again. I'm feeling pulls. I'm like, why am I having these cramps? Because I'm not on my period. You know, I was having my periods regularly, but now I had my missed period. I last had my period in Feb. March, no period. April, I'm having that.
You were not
and
thinking.
I was like, what's happening? PCOS things again. What's this? You know. Then I go to my doctor there at EXP. When I get to him, he's like, you here for your results? You want us to do the retest again? And I said, we'll do that, but I'm also feeling this. And he says, okay, urine test, go to Nessa Station. Go to Nessa Station, they test. So now they had to test the uric acid but they used my urine sample. Okay. And then they took my blood for the thyroid, for the insulin, and what else? I can't remember what else he was testing there. And then he also did my pregnancy test. And I said, why pregnancy test? Says, you have to do it. Okay. Now,
you're
prior
off
to
contraceptives.
This, yeah, I've been off. I haven't been using contraceptives ever since that time. I told you I stopped using them. So the last contraceptive I used was the mini pill before my daughter. Okay, my third born. Okay. So now, in between my third born and this time, okay, while I was last year April, I started having these severe pains. It was so painful. And I was like, what is wrong with me? You know, it's those ones were like the sharp pain that goes from your front to the back,
lower back,
the pulls on everything was just going wrong, you know. And then I went to my doctor, my GP, and I said, no, something is not right. And then he said, oh no, because I also have I'll tell you, GORD, GORD, gastro. It's what happens at my stomach. I'll tell you what, I forgot what the name stands for. So my stomach gets pushed into the esophagus, and then I have like acid influx. So it mimics heartburn and ulcer, but it's more severe. It's not nice. So I had to do a what do they call it? Gastroscopy for them to make that diagnosis. So I thought it's that. So I said, you know what, I want him to go, and he's very thorough. He's that doctor who, when you say it's painful here, and he can't, he's thorough. Go do X-ray, go do this, go do that, and then he gives you a proper. He tries to give the best diagnosis ever. That's why I like him. My husband doesn't like him for obvious reasons, because our medical aid gets depleted and then you have to pay
I'm
for
thinking about medical aid in the back of my mind.
Yes. Yeah. He goes all out. Yeah. But I like that because he's thorough. Yeah. So I went in, he said, no, sit there, let's do the ultrasound. Not ultrasound, but he's got like a sonar, similar to the ultrasound, but I guess the ultrasound is much more advanced. So he did. He started there. It's like, no, everything is fine there, gastrointernally. And then we came to my intestines, like everything looks okay. Came down, said, haha, you're pregnant. Me, pregnancy. I was so disappointed. I'm not looking forward to another child. Especially after my third born, she's a handful. I'm like, no, doctor. She's like, you don't seem happy. I'm like, no, I can't be pregnant. She's like, go to sister station, blood. Let's do urine. Urine sample, do that. Comes out, even the nurse, oh, congratulations. I'm like, don't say that. She's like, no, my child is a blessing. Yeah, I know all of that, but the space that I'm at right now, I'll get used to it. But thank you anyway. You know, come home, tell my husband. The following day, no, just after I show him the, the sticks there, and he says he gets over them home. And I'm like, don't get too excited. And he says, why? And I said, the way that I'm feeling, I feel like it's going to be like what happened before we had Sibani. And then he's like, okay. Then I'm like, oh, I feel like I need to go poop, you know, do a number 2. I go to the bathroom where you have the edge to push, but nothing comes out. You just have this edge to push, but nothing comes out. Then eventually something comes out, and I think, okay, I'm going to be released. Because I thought maybe it's air, too much air and whatnot, trapped in the wrong place, but it wasn't. Oh my, after that, the pain I felt, I don't know labor pain because all my kids are cesarean. So I was like, is this labor pain? Is this, what is happening? What is this? I couldn't do, you know that thing when you said you were crawling, you were, even for me, I had to take off all my clothes because I felt like they were holding me down. And I had this moment where I went to the toilet and I felt like I'm gonna fall. I'm very strong-willed. I held onto the base and I said, no, I'm not gonna fall out. I'm not going to. You know, and then I went to the bed and I slept. My husband my daughter came first to give me food. Even the sight of her just irritated me. And I was like, can you please just go? He says, mommy, food, just go with the food. I want nothing. You know when you want nothing. Pain.
Like don't
you
breathe.
Want nothing. Exactly.
Don't breathe next to me.
And we had visitors that day. I said to my husband, unfortunately, you're going to have, because we couldn't cancel them, just go sit with them. I can't. I'll sit here by myself. I can't. Just excuse myself. That's how painful it was. I couldn't even force to come and sit with her. I couldn't. Then the following morning, so that same day, I called my gynae and they said, no, she's not available. Come tomorrow. And then I went the following day. Getting to the shower felt like I'm climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. I was like, I can't. And I'm that girl who, when I go to the gynae, I want to shave. I said, how am I going to do that with the pain?
What a joke, my darling.
I got and I shaved myself in the pain, laying there, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. And then I went to the shower. I don't know where I got the strength. God knows where I got that strength. Showered, pulled on a dress, you know, just a slip-on dress. I'm like, as long as I get there. When we hit speed humps, the pain. And when my husband talks to me, I felt like he's taking the energy from me. And he could see that. And I'm like, I don't mean it bad, not in bad spirits, but I can't talk. I don't even have that energy to
Listen, that has been me in the last couple of months. Yeah. When I say, I don't want to talk.
Exactly.
People don't talk to me. I don't have the capacity to even breathe. Like I'm, because everything is
just you wanna. Exactly. And fortunately, I've got a husband who's very understanding. So he didn't take it personally. He understood that I must be going through. You know me, I'm a talker. We talk, we chat. But when I come to say I can't, so he understood that something terrible. And he could see, even my mom, when I walk, because he had to come, she had to come and stay with my children. She said to me, you know, after now, that's when I came back. She said, you know, when you left, I was worried. I thought you were not coming back because I could see that you are forcing yourself to be strong, but you're not. And for the kids also, you know, because I can't fall apart in front of my kids. So we go to the doctor. When I get to my gynae, I last saw my gynae 4 years ago, you know, during COVID. Who wants to go do pap smear during COVID, guys? I couldn't. So 4 years now, ever since I've seen her. So when I'm there, she's like, Nell, what's wrong with you? You are pale. I haven't seen you in a long time, but you're pale. And then I take her through the journey. From the last time I saw her, what happened, the doctor posed my error, Now I get her, I'm pregnant. Oh, so that's why we're here. Okay, let's hop on the bed, let's see. We hop on the bed, he says, how dare you do this to me? No, how dare you do this to me? You're not going to do this to me. You're not going to do this to me. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? You know, when you're thinking you are cool, you are calm. Yeah, you're going through what you're going through, but I mean, you're at the doctor, so now you're relaxed. Calls my husband. My husband's like, so he's like, no, daddy. there's no pregnancy. She has a ruptured ectopic. We need to rush her to the theater. Now, you go do, what you call this, admin there to make her be admitted. I'm taking her.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, no, I'll walk. She said, you're not walking. Stop it. You know, I've never seen a doctor so panicky when I'm calm. Most cases the other way around. This time she was on panic. She said, you're not going to die on me now. Whatever you do, just don't pass out. And I said, what, you are at that case where somebody falls and they die and we don't know what happened to them. No, you are dying. She says, just sit. We're going to take you through with you to the theater.
That's scary.
Get willed there. She calls her colleague, Malipela. Apparently, Dr. Malipela is the master of doing, you know, what do they call it? Laparoscopy. Yeah, because she said, if you pass out now, we're going to cut you like this. So make sure that you don't. And I get to the ward, I sit there, I'm fine. She comes, and then they're like, okay, we're wheeling you through. It's time now to go to theater. I go to theater, and then they took it out. I found out today that I'm pregnant. The following day, the baby was out of my stomach because of the rupture. So I lost my, I think, right tube. Yeah. The one that was problematic or the one that was right. Okay. I can't remember. And then I was like, PCOS, one tube. There's no way that I'll fall pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Here am I. I'm pregnant.
The way you wanted babies. You see? The way.
Yeah.
Your prayers of wanting a baby.
Exactly.
They are manifesting.
Manifesting themselves.
Hard and proper.
Exactly. In his own time, in his own ways.
Right?
And I said 2 years. He said 2 years. For who are you to tell me? I'll show you what's going to happen.
Goodness.
So literally my firstborn will be 16 years older than my last.
That's always why I'm not gonna go to school with my sister. I'm like, did I cause all of this? Did I cause, you know? Exactly. So that is amazing. Yeah. I didn't know about that because we haven't talked about all these things in the last couple of months.
Yeah, so that's what
I can imagine.
That's
yo, people are going through a lot.
Reproductive health for you, my dear. Just when you think,
rest.
Okay, this is then
you're
something
done.
comes up.
Because I was hopeful that you're gonna share a story of this is it, like some sort of recovery, like it's cured. I went through that treatment. You went through all of that. You lost the weight. Lose the weight. You'll be okay.
Now when you're talking about treatment, sorry to intervene. The results now. Yeah. After he gives me, which is now with this pregnancy. Remember, I took pregnancy test plus my insulin, and because I was more focused and interested on the results of those. Yes. Insulin is where my thyroid is, where my uric acid is, so I can stop taking this treatment. And then now he comes and he says, "You are clear."
Are you kidding?
Everything is normal. Insulin is normal. Thyroid is acting well. And then your uric acid is okay. So you've been okay all along. And I was like, okay, good. Came home, took all those pills, chucked them on. Anyway, I'm pregnant. I can't be taking them again. So that's how it all worked out. Now, coming to the pains, am I still feeling the pains? No, I don't feel those pains anymore. Except if I eat beef. Okay. So now I know what causes my hives also. For me, if I wear something that is too tight, on my body. Okay. Or if I don't sleep, anything that causes stress, whether internally or physically, I get hives. Yeah. So I've learned that, okay, I need to stay, because I went also to, part of me taking the thyroid medication, I think it also, Eltrixin, makes you lose your hair. Okay. So that patch that you have, darling, me, I ain't wearing this hair because I want to look like that with my hair. No, we're hiding because we're recording. We're hiding things there, wow. But even when I go out, I have to. So I started seeing dermatologist, I think around Feb or so, or March. And she gave me what you call minoxidil. Yes. A spray that helps the hair grow. I know these things. So she just gave me that and something to help with my, just to give me that even tone. Because I don't have much of skin issues, and then with hives, she said, just look at what causes them. And then try to avoid that, because that's the only thing that we can do. Unfortunately, there's no cure for hives. You can't prevent them, because they will. Exactly. And they're so short.
mean, they come
bleed.
and
Yeah.
they disappear
Yeah.
after, and you can't really take some. You will forever be taking.
So it's that pain that you have to
yeah.
bear. You know, you just have to bear it up.
No,
so
that sounds good.
I took my Noxidol, and then when I found out I'm pregnant, I took it for like a month. And then Dr. Google, something just said to me, just Google this. And then it says it causes some syndrome and defects on kids. Can you imagine what went into my mind? I started going ballistic. I'm like, no, I have to stop this. I stopped it. And then I told my guy, she said, stop everything.
Was it just the spray or you're
it
taking?
Was the spray only.
Okay.
And she said, just stop it. Then I stopped it. And during the time when I was taking it, darling, my hair came back.
Are you serious?
The texture and everything was perfect. I think also pregnancy added. It was beautiful. My hair was beautiful. And then I went and did my cut. And even my hairstylist was excited because he hasn't done my hair in like a year. Because I cut it off. I shaved it all off because I wanted to treat they called it prurigo nodularis. Okay. So I have like, it's more like sores, but they don't heal. And they're not like the normal sores. I don't know how to explain it. And there's eczema also somewhere there because it itches and I scratch. And then the hair goes off and then it resembled alopecia. So I thought I had alopecia, but it wasn't alopecia. Okay. So when he gave me the treatment, she also gave me Clovex spray and Clovex shampoo. So I used to do Clovex shampoo. Now Clovex lightens because you know those things make like black marks. I had like black marks all over. And now my hair it makes you brighter. So now my scalp was bright. And then here I'm a bit darker. And then I have, so my husband is a yellow bone and my daughter and my son. So the third born is more like my color. So she's balancing me. So I would say to my daughter, say, you see, you take that yellow bonus. So you gotta ride on some wave sometimes. So yeah, and then when I stopped using it, hair started falling like crazy. So apparently that's one of the side effects when you stop using my Minoxidil. Yeah. So it's a forever. Oh my god. And when I stopped using all those things, now the itch starts again, and at least here topically, like on my neck. It's winter, we put polo necks, and of course we want to keep warm. When I put it on, then I start having eczema reaction. So I have Dovate cream. Remember I showed you about it when I said sometimes it helps even for the hives, for them not to be itchy. I will put it on. So I went to my doctor and he gave me like he didn't even ask questions. I was taking my daughter. I said, I use this and it helps and it works. I got it from my gynae, by the way, because where I put the drip when I was doing the laparoscopy for the ectopic. Yes. I had where the drip was and that patch. They use that. That thingy that. Yeah. That holds down the. Yes. So it gave me a reaction there. I was black there. Even here on my stomach, I just had this big. I don't know why on the stomach, but I had this. Maybe it's because of the stress. I don't know. It was dark like black. So she said, no, use this. So that means you have eczema that comes out during stress. So me when I stress, I have eczema, I've got hives, and those are the two things you don't want. Wow. Because my goodness. This is things that I never used to have way back, but now all of a sudden, it's my chronic condition. This is fascinating to me. It's fascinating, and just from the journey where you started, and getting here, and how do you feel now about pregnancy right now? Where do you think? Are you just gonna wait to have the baby? You're just on pregnancy mode. You're just relax, have the baby, and then you'll figure it all out again once you have the energy to do that. Yeah. That's really what I want to check. Where you now? Is your mind just on baby mode? I just want to have a safe, amazing pregnancy, and then see everything else when you come back. Before I knew I was pregnant, I used to tell everybody around me, say, if you see me pregnant, just come hug me, give me chocolate. Like, just be nice, because you must know that I'm going through the most. Oh my goodness. That's me pre-pregnancy. And then the day that I was told, I was very devastated. It's like, there goes my dream after losing so much weight, after all these things that I've done, after, you've achieved again, But then I think when my first visit, they only saw a dot. Now the second visit, when I went, there's the heartbeat. There's something, guys, about the heartbeat. It just the connection. Yes. I fell in love where I could see now the head and this little tiny body, you know. And after me being scared of what my noxidal did, maybe the child is deformed or whatever. And when I saw that and when I had the heartbeat, I walked out of there so grateful and so happy. And I was like, God, thank you yet again. I'm so going to enjoy this pregnancy. I am so gonna rock this pregnancy. Like all the time, I always go like, no, we'll see. I've always been in that mode with my pregnancies. Especially the two middle ones. The first one I was excited, of course, with first child I'm excited. The middle ones, it was that thing of no, we'll see when the baby. The time when I hold my baby here, I'll save the money. Yeah, they did baby showers and all that. That's where you get excited. But at the back of your head, you always have that thing: what if something goes wrong? But with this one, there is no what if. There were what ifs. I don't want to lie in between, especially before going to do my, where they do the deformities test and whatnot. I went at 14 weeks, and the results came out well. That's where I started now being calm and enjoying. And I'm like, you know what? I am so going to enjoy this. I'm actually looking forward to go do shopping for even my kids. They're like, oh, we're gonna go buy. So my boy is hoping for a boy. I'm also hoping for a boy also. so I can have girl boy. So he said to me, Mommy, you give birth in a pattern. It was girl, then me, then girl. Now definitely there's a boy. And when he comes, you dress him like me. He's gonna be my twin. He's gonna be my, he's already excited. So I'm hoping that he's not gonna be disappointed if it's a girl. But as long as it's healthy and well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm enjoying the journey.
I'm so
I don't
happy
want to
for
lie,
you.
enjoying it to a point where I don't want to think about when the baby's
things.
here. No, when the baby's
process.
here, I can't wait till I'm done. Pregnancy especially. No, I'm enjoying each moment as it comes. Right now, I'm here. Can I be here? Because I think that's what I missed with the past two. I was rushing.
It does that. I mean,
yes.
I'm so happy for you. I'm absolutely happy for you, and I'm excited for you. This is where I'm trying to get myself. So just a summary of where I ended up with all these analysis and diagnosis. After I did my laparoscopy to remove the cyst, I was okay. And then at some point, I think the beginning of 2019, I did some bloods, and then I found, because then we were trying to have a baby, and then I was told that the PCOS is, I can't remember the terminology, but it was at a very high level. The hormonal, imbalance was very high. The bloods showed that, and the ultrasound also showed that the ovaries were quite enlarged. And I remember the doctor, went by myself to the doctor, and he then gave me a lowdown of infertility treatments. I left the doctor's office with a prescription for the first, there's different levels to fertility treatment. So you get medication, some pills, I can't remember what they were, to kind of activate, to fertility and the cycle. So I left there and I never went and did anything about it. I was just so exhausted. And they were talking about, after this, then we have to now drill your ovaries. If that doesn't work, then it's IVF, it's what? And I'm like, is this me at 30? Then I was, 32 or 30? I'm like, is this me? Is this my life? And I let it go. So, but eventually, that was from my previous marriage. That ended. Long story short, I fell pregnant out of nowhere. There's nothing that I did. We talk about this with my partner now. There's nothing that I did. I actually was not even taking any precautions, like you're saying. Like, I know that I can't have a baby. Exactly. I've tried for years. I know that I can't have a baby, and and then I fell pregnant and had this miracle baby. My 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old now. But beyond that, it's always been, you have PCOS. You have, and now also have endometriosis. I just went for treatment and laparoscopy. Incision scars. Incision. Yeah. When I look at my belly, like incision scars. And the endometriosis also, I'm not even sure the combination of endometriosis, because even the doctor now was dealing with endometriosis, not even with PCOS. Wow. When you go there, you can't even talk about everything because it's gonna take 2 hours to just be there with your gynae. So with endometriosis, I did the laparoscopy. They removed the tissue, burned the tissue, and then I was given an injection to put me on chemical menopause. So I'm on menopause right now. And I had said this year I want to go pregnant. So you're experiencing Karabo after 50? Or when after 50? I don't. Yeah. I think after 50 I have. So when menopause come, you'll have all the experiences. Now we've got a go-to person. Hot flashes. I sweat at night. But the biggest thing, and she told me this after I went there for a post-op review. Oh, by the way, I gave you this injection as part of the treatment. You know, I left there like I didn't even ask a lot of questions. I just went on Google as well and just started researching this injection. And so it's going to last in my body for 6 months. I think I'm on month 2. I'm getting into month 3 now. Okay. The worst thing for me right now has been, okay, I'm dealing with the endometriosis. I still have PCOS. I'm still, the weight gain and having to manage that, and my blood pressure also. I've been having an issue with my blood, and I'm like, I don't have I'm not hypertensive. Sometimes it's low. Sometimes I went through a whole series of checks and with a specialist to see my heart rate, ultrasound of my kidneys, all these organs, just to see if I'm hypertensive and how has that affected my body. And all of this from reproduction. I was referred by my gynae, to go and check these things out. And I think where I'm at now, with endometriosis, I'm starting to get better. I was put also on contraceptives. I've stopped taking them. I've stopped taking them recently, the last month, and I just want to feel. I feel like I want to try something myself and feel my body. It has to recover. I've started intermittent fasting, and I've been looking into just how to regulate your blood glucose levels in a natural way. I've stopped the metformin. I only took it for a year, and I've just started, and I'm hoping to come back and say, okay, great, I've lost the weight. I've lost just a kilo because I started 2 weeks ago, just a kilo now. And I'm hoping, I'm very serious about it because this doctor that I'll share the link. She's phenomenal, and I love the way she thinks about health, and she talks about blood glucose and woman and the reproductive system, how to fast when you're on your period, the hormones that affect insulin. I think that's the one that my husband saw. Yeah, it's similar to what she's saying. She's like my new guru of everything. I listen to her every day for something new. And she related your hormones that affect. And she talks a lot about PCOS. And I'm like, this is what I expected from my gynae, but obviously they are so focused on the clinical aspect. Remember, they are specialists for that thing. So, exactly. So I'm hoping by the end of this, I'll also be at some point. The way you must manifest things unto you. Absolutely. I'm trying to have my last baby, and I love babies. I love having a big family. I love all of that. But just to wrap it up, I'm so happy that I think what I want to leave people with is what are the things that you could say to, what are the things that you could share with people to take heed of, and just awareness. We've talked about the symptoms and everything. What would you say to a woman like, okay, take care of yourself, 1, 2, 3, what are the things that are important? I would say know your body, know what is normal and what's not normal. The minute you start seeing something not right, doesn't matter how small it is, just go check it out. Check it out. And it's a medical aid affair. Yeah, clinic, babes. Yeah, doctor, that's true. You get what I'm saying? That's true. Just check it out. I always say, I remember somebody saying to me, oh, you pay all the way to go to Durban. And I said, I'd rather pay that than to pay money for something that's not going to help me, or to pay
money for treatment that I will have to take for the rest of my life. So I'd rather go to Durban because it's working and it's helping me eliminate what could be devastating. So I would say to any woman, if you know that something is out of the norm,
pain,
just take a step and go. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for next week. Don't say, no, I'll take this. And if you take it, initially use what you have. But if it's not working today, tomorrow you wake up, it's still there. Go see the doctor. Don't procrastinate, you getting help. And then when it comes to mental health also,
that's a big one.
We have this taboo that when you go to see a therapist, you are weak. Yes, you are weak. The brain, much as the skin, much as the heart, much as your reproductive organs are important, are organs that when they are not working well, we go see the doctor, the specialist for them. Same applies to your brain. It needs that same, amount of attention that we give to our other body parts. Take care of your mental health. If you're not okay, you're not okay. Don't be shy to say, oh, people would think I'm weak. Or in our culture, we don't. Hey, guys, there's no culture. Things to say, you can't die when there's help, especially now. We're living in an advanced world. We've got so many things accessible to us. Let's make use of them. Once you feel something, especially your gut, listen to your intuition. If it tells you something is not right, it's not right. So just go and get help. And still, when you get help, like we've spoken about our journey, we've hit so many stumbling blocks along the way, or you get to be in a crossroad when you don't know what do you do. If you feel strongly to do something, just go ahead and do it. Take blood tests. Me, I would say if a doctor tells you, no, you've got this, go to a lab and say, doctor, can I go to the lab? Or talk to them. Find another doctor. Maybe if you don't want to go to a doctor, there's many doctors. Say, doctor, I'm going to go do these tests. I want you to help me interpret like I did. If I didn't take that initial step, I would still be taking that medication right now.
Absolutely.
So just take initiative. Be proactive in your health. Don't just be a person who's a taker.
I think as well, women love to be so strong. And you've talked about your pain threshold, and I tell people all the time, let me tell you, I live with pain almost every day of my life, so I'm very good with pain. Yes. And sometimes it's a good thing, but also it can be a bad thing where pain is supposed to alert you to stand up and go do something. But because we're so used to grinding through or bearing through pain, you overlook certain things where you the earlier with your physical health, the earlier you attend to things, the better the prognosis at the end of the day that you can have. So that's very important. And mental health, I'm starting therapy soon because now that I've been put on this chemical menopause, it is driving me crazy. I was telling my boss,
anything that affects your hormones,
going crazy. I even tell my family, guys, today is the day. They know now. Like, I'm going to eat you alive. Yeah. If you come, I will literally eat you. And I could see myself, like, I'm very animated in my head, like, just make them disappear because they're just this irritation. Yeah. And absolutely studying therapy because I get triggered a lot and I'm very emotional and all of that. But another thing that I just wanted to add with everything that you said, I absolutely agree. That's self-love. Exactly. A lot of what has me here sane and still living my life, still being able to be in love, having a family, working and being functional. And people might think, oh, maybe she's not going through a lot. I'm very big on you still have to live. You have to live. Exactly. People are going through all sorts of things. I'm going through this particular thing. While I'm trying to figure out the solutions, you have to live. You have to love yourself. You have to. I'm still trying to, eat clean. Trying to work on the weight. I'm going back to gym. I think next week. I was just waiting for my code. Do things that make you happy. Exactly. Love on yourself and engage people and communicate, talk about what you're going through. And I think that really has helped me a lot to manage everything to this point.
And to add to that, you can't pour from an empty cup. Fill yourself
Impossible.
in, and then you can pour to others. But like you said, imbogodo, guys, let's do that.
Go.
But can we please love ourselves? I think you put it perfectly there. Self-love. Love yourself. In that way, you'll be able to give love to others. How would you?
And ask for help.
Because you end up giving until you have nothing, and then what do? You become that snapper chap. You snap, you throw tantrums, and then they go like, "Oh, she is." Don't you know? Because you've been giving and you're not getting. And nobody can do it for you. You first have to do it yourself.
Absolutely. Well, this has been amazing. We could go on and on. There's still so many things I'd still want to talk to you about, but I wanted to focus especially on reproductive health and our health, and I'm so happy that there's a positive end to all of this. I'm hoping when I record with you next time,
it's done.
It's done.
Tick.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for your pregnancy. And like you said, definitely, like I don't remember ever having a pregnancy. And I've said, I want everything. The next pregnancy, I want to be like a bride.
Exactly.
My baby shower, everything must be, I'm doing photo shoot, the wife, that's the thing of having all these issues, that it takes away still so much of your joy, you know, and hope and all of that. And I'm so glad that you just said no more. This is it.
Exactly.
You know, you're gonna have this amazing pregnancy, and I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for also allowing me the privilege.
Right. And for indulging me in these conversations. And yeah, it's a wrap, guys. Hope you gained something from this video. You learned something, and yeah, if like we've said, go and take the initiative to take action when it comes to your health, especially women. Your reproductive health is very important. It can affect so many other things in your body, you know. So take charge. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. You've been watching my videos, you're not subscribing. Today is the day. And thanks now again. And
it's my pleasure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your comments and share some of your experiences.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it. It's a wrap.
Can we eat?
My kid says it's a wrap. It's a wrap.